Welcome everybody to the first league match of Season 6 between Paul Reynolds at the bottom of the screen and Colron Chambers at the top. This is from Division 2. Colron's a known brewer, and Paul had a pretty good first up season in the majors last year, so both of these guys are going to try and get away to a very good start. Colron's been with us since about Season 2, so he's a veteran of the leagues now, but last season he actually played in the European division, so he's back in the US here, and I believe last time as well he played in his first finals for standard. I think he started out here with Avaya, which does nothing until turn 4, then can start making tokens. So he's on some sort of a saproling plan here. This deck will probably get better with the new Dominaria cards, which he's going to be able to start using from next week. You can see Paul's on straight up green-red, I believe. There's a few dinosaurs in there. Is it just green-red dinosaurs, but with a Merfolk Branchwalker hanging out as well. But Colron's got a pretty good defensive shield up at the moment, the two Saprolanes and Avaya, but he's missed a land drop, so this is going to cause problems for him. Two Regisaur Alphas there, so he's one land short of being able to do some serious damage here. Deathgorge Scavenger is going to be able to start cleaning up the graveyard as well. But for now it's just going to create a Heart of Colron, so no blockers in the air for Colron. He just has to take the damage. Hope of Girapur. As I say at the start of this match, Colron traditionally likes to brew, play around with his own brews, so I've got no idea what he's got going on at the top of the screen. Hope of Girapur, I actually didn't have time to edit in these unusual cards this time, but the Hope of Girapur, he can do damage and then sack it, and it will mean that the other player cannot cast spells next turn. But you can see here he's in serious trouble because there's about 4, 7, 11, 18 damage coming across, so there's going to be a heap of chump blocks here. He's going to take most of it and go down to 3, so the Heart of Colron is actually lethal, and I think we're going to see a concession from Colron here. You can see he's got no way to block that Heart of Colron. Just having to think about it, seeing if there's any way out of this for him. By the way, this was recorded by Paul Reynolds, so the hand that we see is Paul's. I don't know what the delay is here. This has been time warped as well, so I'm recording this. I've edited it first, and now I'm recording it after the event. So Colron has conceded, and we're going to go to game 2. Paul takes game 1. Paul will probably see in Modern has his kind of pet deck, which is the mono blue taking turns deck. He played it all through last season, and this has its ups and downs because it means that everyone kind of knows what he's on. But at the same time, it means he can play it very well. Finds a land with Commune with the Dinosaurs, and he's going to be able to get in for 3 here thanks to the Explore trigger on the Merfolk Branchwalker. And we can see Colron again, he's stuck on 1 land, so this is not looking good. There's a Deathgorge Scavenger again to do some work on the graveyards if necessary. Colron's down to 14, misses a land drop, so he kept a 1-lander. That's a disaster. Ronus is in there now. 6, this is going to drop him to 8. And if he can trigger Ronus, which he'll be able to next turn with Galta, this is just going to be a lethal, very fast standard. Okay, 2 chump blockers on the way. Is it going to be enough? He should be able to play Gelter. He's got 3, 6. Yeah, down comes Gelter. Only has to pay 2 mana for it. Ronus can come in. Ronus is indestructible. This time he's going to exile a card from the graveyard to get 2 life. So 2 chump blocks here, but then he has to deal with Gelter, which is a trampler next turn. I don't believe you can do that for 2 mana, and we're going to probably see a concession here as well. We do, and we're on to Modern. So Paul cleans up Standard very quickly, 2 games to 0. Let's see if Colron can turn Modern around. You can see here the taking turns. He's got 2 Dictator Prefix, which enables him to draw an extra card, and an Exhaustion. Colron, I've got no idea what he's on. A search for a Skanta for Paul. So he's got something with a blue-black that plays Ether Vial. This looks like another brew. Dark Confidant's going to help him draw cards. He bins that Dictator Prefix because he's already got 2 in his hand. He doesn't need another one. Mind Crank. Okay, so I believe this is a combo deck, but I'm not particularly sure what the combo is here. And for the next week, I'm definitely going to be putting the enlarged cards on your screen so you can see these cards. I just totally forgot it in the editing process this week, unfortunately. So down comes Mind Crank. Whenever an opponent loses life, that player... Let me just bring this up very quickly on my screen. Okay, so whenever an opponent loses life, that player puts that many cards from the top of his library into his graveyard. So he's on a milling strategy here. And with the Dusk Mantle, Guild Mage, and the Dark Confidant hitting, there's going to be 4 cards milled a turn. Plus the Dictator Prefix is going to enable him to draw extra cards, so this is going to be interesting. So there's the Mind Crank. What is Dusk Mantle Guild Mage? This is really annoying. I really should have, edited this properly. Dusk Mantle Guild Mage. Okay, so it's pay 2. Pay 3. Whenever a card is put into an opponent's grave, that player loses 1 life, or it also mills as well. And I think Paul has seen enough of of what Colron's got going on. He's conceded immediately. He's gone to game 2. Colron lost Standard 2 games to 0, so he's hoping to strike back here. He's going to keep that Howling Mine, sorry. So Colron's kept a 1 lander. This was disastrous from the first turn, but first game. Actually, no, sorry, he didn't. He's played his land now. He's got an Ether Vial. It's on 2. Down comes the Glint Sleeve Siphoner. So Howling Mine's going to get him 2 extra cards. This is probably one of the weaknesses of these taking turns decks. They might be a bit susceptible to aggressive decks. You can see the Blossoming Blessed Alliance here is going to be able to get that Glint Sleeve Siphoner next turn. Although he's tapped out now, so he may be able to go for the Exhaustion. Bit unusual there from Colron to be seeing Glint Sleeve Siphoner in Modern. You can see Paul's missing land drops, drew 2 cards, didn't hit his 4th land. So this is going to make it tough for him, particularly if Colron can start to add threats to the board. So here's Blessed Alliance. It'll take care of the glint sleeve siphoner. Colron just thinking about what he wants to do here. I don't think he's going to save that with a counter spell. Paul is tapped out now, so there's an opportunity to resolve a decent threat. Colron with 7 cards in hand, but it just passes the turn. And again, 2 cards and misses a land drop. So Aethervial is going to bring in a threat here, which is going to be the Duskmantle Guildmage again. Well, Collective Brutality is going to give him a look here, but he's going to see... I think you take... Oh, it's enough. So, Paul's probably a bit salty there and conceded immediately to frustration from missing land drops, and we're on to Legacy. We're looking at Paul's deck. He played this in Season 5 as well. Basically, he tries to cheat in a massive threat and then stifle the trigger on the Phyrexian Dreadnought, which is... well, this is interesting. Hazaret. It looks like Colron's thrown to... Besides the Blood Moon, it looks like he's thrown together his... what's that failed format? Frontier. All his Frontier cards. Rumming Up Ruins is a bit of an ombo with the Blood Moon. But you can see Paul here just... and here's the trick. So he's going to stifle the trigger. So he's got 12-12 on turn 2. Does Red have an answer to this? I would be very surprised. Unless he's got artifact removal, because I believe the Dreadnought's an artifact. So there's Blood Moon, but I think it's a bit too late. 2-turn clock here. You can see the Torpor Orb there is another way of stifling that trigger. He's got a Force of Will, but no blue cards to back it up with. And so now Colron needs to find something right now, or he's dead. And he's dead, so we're going to game 2. That's a terrible hand for Paul. 2, 4... He's going to keep it. I'm very surprised by that. I suppose he's hoping that the Lotus Petal is going to find him something through the Brainstorm. So there's a Hunted Horror that he can also... Oh, that is super risky. Going for the Dark Confidant rather than the Brainstorm. Now, if this Confidant dies... Oh, Chalice for 1. He's in all sorts of trouble now. No Stifle triggers for him. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dead cards in hand. I think we're going to game 3. Here's a Scab Clan Berserker. It's just going to get worse now. Dark Confidant finds a Torpor Orb. That'll stifle the trigger. But I think the Dreadnought is 1 mana. And he's on to discard. And you can see the Scab Clan Berserker doing damage there from the Torpor Orb. 2 damage if he plays a non-creature spell. So this is a disaster for Paul. He's down to 6. 2-turn clock. Dark Confidant shows Snapcaster. So he can use Snapcaster as a blocker here. And he'll probably double block because Dark Confidant he wants to get rid of. Plenty of cards he can discard. So I think the players Flash and Snapcaster double block. Oh well, that's it. We're going to game 3. Chandra Torch of Defiance is going to do it. So he saw the Chalice of the Void in that previous match. What's he brought in to deal with it this time? Oh, nothing going on Colron's side. Rampaging Ferocidon in Legacy. I don't know if it's a very good card in this matchup, particularly because well, this is a good brainstorm. You can shuffle a lot of this crap away with the fetch. Yeah, I don't think it's a very good card here because he's got not many creatures on the other side, but you can see Paul fetching aggressively with this with his lands. He's seen Blood Moon on the other side, but he's gone and got two non-basics. Now he can play the Dreadnought out here if he wishes, or the Hunted Horror, though he doesn't have the required card to stifle it. He needs a Torpor Orb or a Stifle here to make this work. Tough decision here. So he's gone for the shuffle. He's looking for something. He's looking for the Torpor Orb or the Stifle, so he can stifle either the Hunted Horror or the Phyrexian Dreadnought trigger. But he's in a world of hurt if Colron can find, say, a Blood Moon. It's going to shut off the Hunted Horror. Eidolon is going to make that tough. Well, Ratchet Bomb's a bit strange here as well. I mean, you can put it on 1 for the Dreadnought. Not really sure why he brought in Crucible of Worlds either. Eidolon going to get some work done, but you can see here that Paul is frantically searching for a Stifle or a Torpor Orb. If he finds either, I think he's going to win. There's Rumming Up Ruins, banned in Standard recently. Sorry, I haven't updated the format. I promised Nathan Blort, who designs this stuff, that I would be, but this is Legacy. It's very late at night for me here, 10:30, so I'll try harder next time. He's down to 6, nothing going on. Here comes our Eidolon again. 3 spells from death. Colron 2 cards in hand. He's got that Rumming Up Ruins that can push through the final 2. Again, he can't find anything, just a Lotus Petal. Lotus Petal is going to cost him with the Eidolon, so he's not going to cast it. Eidolon's going to knock him to 4. So he's got 2 Rumming Ups now, so he can actually do 2 damage here, put him to 2. So I think he's dead either way here, from either the Eidolon or the Rumming Up Ruins, and that is it.